All right, so you guys, the first thing we're gonna do is what? What are we gonna make first?
Base.
Very good. You're gonna start with maybe like a pinch pot size, so a little bit smaller than a baseball. And if you grab more, you're gonna make your life harder. What you're gonna do is just flatten it. So just flatten it like a pancake. What else do we need besides flattening it with our hand?
Water.
Rolling pin, very good. We're gonna need a rolling pin, and we're gonna need guides. What do the guides do?
Keep it straight and even.
Even. So the rolling pin is gonna roll on top of the guides, because once the rolling pin hits the guides, that means the clay is the height of these, which is very thin, which is good. You want this about 1/4 inch. So you want your bases to be 1/4 inch. So kind of put that down, take your rolling pin, and your rolling pin, you want your rolling pin to be directly above your guides. If they're out here, they're doing absolutely nothing. So bring them where they're under the guides. Roll for like 15-20 seconds, then flip, because why? It'll stick to the table. Yep, and it will stick a little bit, that's fine. But if you flip it, it'll move. So we're just gonna roll that. And hopefully we have 3.5, and I already have 4 inches, so I'm good, I'm done. And the ruler should be flush. So if you hear that banging against the rulers, that means your clay is flush and it's flat. All right, so now I'm gonna need my base. You're only gonna need this once. This you're gonna need until you finish your pot. This you need once. You're just gonna put that there, and you're gonna take a fettling knife, push it directly down, and then hold it down and carve it out. So this is where your first coil is gonna start. You always score and slip your first coil. The rest of the coils, you actually don't have to score and slip. And we'll talk about that in a second. So you don't need this anymore. You're done with this. I would put it in your folder, your binder, just in case you mess up and you don't like your circle, something happens to it. So that's that. What I want everyone to do is actually use a banding wheel every day, so you're able to spin your coil pot. So you'll have the banding wheel, and you're gonna put your board, try to center it the best that you can. I know a lot of them are rectangles, but it should be very easy to work on if you have a banding wheel. So you're gonna put this in the center, and you might wanna smooth it out a little bit just with your fingers. Now we're gonna roll our first coil, which it can be really easy or it can be really hard to do. I already rolled out coils just to show you, and you wanna wrap them up. So if you spend like 10 minutes at the end of class rolling coils, you wanna save them and not kind of ball them up. So the coil should look something like this. If you're a guy, well actually, none of the guys in here have really like big hands or anything, but you want your coils to be the size of your thumb. So size of your thumb. If you're a girl, you probably have like, a lot of girls have like really dainty fingers. Try to really go by your thumb size. And that should be about the coil size, the coil width. All right, so I'm done this coil. Obviously it looks fine, but I want to show you guys how to roll coils. So you're gonna get some clay. Make sure it's soft. If it's not soft, you have to wedge it. This is soft. And just kind of put it into a like small potato shape. So it's kind of like, it's not a circle, but it's a small potato after you've wedged it. Okay, you could probably make 2 coils out of this. All right, this is very important or you're gonna hate your life. So, rolling coils. Do not roll like this, because you wanna use your full hand. Use your full hand. Go from your fingertips to the base of your hand. Push forward, and then it starts to actually move. So even pressure throughout the whole coil. Once it starts to get longer, you're gonna spread your fingers out like if you're playing the piano. Do not keep your fingers close together. Spread them out. So start to spread them out. And the third thing, besides using your whole hand, spreading your fingers out, is you wanna constantly move up and down like if you're playing like the whole piano. So don't just focus on one area. Go all the way through the whole coil, fingertips to the base of your palms. If your coil starts to turn like real flat and you can kind of hear it thumping on the table, I heard it a little. So So they might start to get flat. Force it where it's tall. So turn it on the tall part and just take your fingertips and press on it to force it into a more cylindrical shape, like a rounded shape. And then start to roll it back with your fingertips again. So you're just gonna keep rolling. And again, anywhere that seems uneven, go over that and then just keep going through the whole thing. Eventually it's gonna start to look nice. And then, again, you want like probably the size of my thumb. Small, you want every coil to kind of be the same. So it's getting longer. I'm actually gonna just rip it in half because it's going to be small at first. And then I can roll them separately. And just take your time with this. All right, so I'm just gonna be done with this one for now. I would focus on rolling like 3 perfect coils and then start your project. Don't just roll 1 coil and start. Roll 3 coils and practice with coils because it's not easy. All right, so we're gonna move on and we're just gonna score and slip. Scoring, comb or serrated rib. So we're gonna score this. And I wrote 4 words on the board. This is kind of what you're gonna focus on when you are putting your coils down. It says roll, then place. So for the first thing, we're just gonna slip this so it sticks. I just use my fingers. You can use whatever you want. Paintbrush. And you're gonna score your coil. So this one's good. I'm just gonna score one side. The scored part is what touches the base. All right, so you're not gonna start smoothing until you know it's perfectly placed in the center of your circle. So I'm just gonna rip it anywhere. I know I left extra on purpose. Lift it up and look at it from the opposite side. This is the most important part, and this is how pots start to become lopsided. If your circle goes perfectly around the circle, then it's good. If my coil accidentally is a little bit lopsided, you're gonna see it like that. And then eventually your pot's gonna be lopsided. You're gonna say, what happened, what happened? And it's your placement, okay? So make sure you place. Placement is extremely important. So that's your first coil. I'm gonna show you the second coil, so I'm gonna pull this down. So placement, and then I'm just gonna rip that. All right, so the next step is to smooth. I'm gonna smooth the second coil. So I'm gonna put the second coil down, and my clay is soft, so I don't have to score and slip. So where's my template? Thank you. Every single coil that you place, put your this up to it. As you can see, my second coil is not wide enough because do you guys see that gap? My second coil is not wide enough. So make sure your second coil is wide enough or you're not gonna get the right shape. So I'm gonna take that off and fix it. Make sure you bring it out and just keep placing and checking. So now I'm gonna put, that coil's too small. The same circle, wider placement. So again, make sure it's wider on all angles. Before I do anything, before I even cut that, I'm gonna check. It's better to have it not far enough out because we could smooth it and push out the walls later. If it's too wide, it's too late. So just keep that in mind. So now that's good. That's wide enough. I'm gonna rip that. All right, so now we're going to kind of just smooth it and weld it together. You use your fingers. What you're gonna do is smear the top coil into the bottom coil. So just take your thumb, smear down and spin. Take your thumb, smear down and spin. When you smear it out, your pot's getting a little wider. So it's okay that my coil wasn't wide enough for my template. So you're just gonna smear. Use your banding wheel. Don't spin your pot just by picking it up. You can use your thumb. You can also use a boxwood tool. So just push and smear out. When I'm smearing the inside, my fingers from my other hand are pressing on the inside so I don't push out my shape. So my hand is supporting the other side. All right, so for the most part, something that I want you guys not to do, you don't have to perfect the top coil because you're just gonna throw another coil on top. So perfect the inside and the outside of your pot. Don't worry about the top of your coil because it's gonna get another coil on top of it. So after you smooth the inside, now you're gonna keep your hand on the inside and smooth with your thumb on the outside. Again, equal pressure from the inside and outside, and then so on. You could always perfect it 100% later. As long as your placement is correct, your coils are placed right, don't worry about smoothing it perfectly. If your coils are placed incorrectly, not following the template, that is when you're gonna have a lot of issues. So don't worry about your fingerprints. If your placement's fine, you can worry about everything else later. So every time you place a coil, you don't need to score and slip after the first one. If you were to work on this project Monday, the top of your coil from the last day, you do have to score because it starts to dry out in the cabinet. So the first coil of every day is scored. Does that make sense? Do you guys have any questions about doing this at all? It's pretty easy. Okay. Yeah, good.